Hey everyone, my name's Christy. Welcome to my corner. Thank you for joining me today on this Flosstube Friday for Flosstube 40? Wait, am I at 40? I just checked and I am indeed at Flosstube number 40. That feels momentous. I don't know why, because it's like a round number. It's round numbers for some reason feel momentous. Anyway, welcome to Flosstube number 40. I have a very exciting episode number 40 for you because I finished my Hildegard of Bingen's Cosmic Egg yesterday. I am so excited. Those of you who follow me on Instagram have already seen sneak peeks of it. You helped me choose the beading on it. If you're not following me on Instagram, you can find me at Dr_Christy. I'll put it right here. And I want to welcome my new subscribers. I want to welcome everyone who is coming back for more. Can you tell I'm really excited about finishing Hildegard of Bingen's Cosmic Egg? I'm super excited. If you've been with me for a while, you've seen Hildegard of Bingen's Cosmic Egg for a very long time, and you will see it one last time today. So welcome to everyone who is visiting with me today. This is a channel about embroidery and cross stitch and other textile crafts and baking and the history of all of those things. So if any of that is interesting to you and you're not subscribed, I would love to have you subscribe and stick around. I'm going to start with Hildegard because that's why a lot of you are here. You want to see how it looks. And my friend Natasha Witchcraft, I'll link her down below, suggested that since you were all with me for like the whole process of Hildegard, that you might want to see like the end of it. So I filmed and heavily edited the last couple hours of my beading and gold leafing her, and I've cut it into like a 2-minute and 20-second-ish little video that I'm going to insert. There's no talking in it except at the very end. It's just kind of the sound of the needle going through. My hope was that it would be, I don't know, like a relaxing kind of end to this really exciting project for me. And if you don't want to see this, like I said, it's about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. You can just fast forward until you see me again, until you see my face again, and I'll start showing you my stitching. So I'm going to insert that here, and I'll see you in about 2.5 minutes. I think it's done. So that's when I finished her, and here is where she is. Look at that. I am so pleased. I love how the beading turned out. I love how the gold leafing turned out. I love how it all turned out. And in fact, I still have my needle on there. So we're gonna pull that off because I don't need it anymore. And I don't need my needle minder anymore either. So this can go back into use for other projects and when I start another cosmic egg, which I do plan on doing at some point. This is going to my friends in Maine who, it's her birthday in June, and they asked if they could buy one. And I said, well, I will give you this one. So this is Hildegard of Bingen's cosmic egg. Those of you who are new, I'm sorry, I should explain this. I'm just so agog at her being finished. This is Hildegard of Bingen's cosmic egg, and Hildegard of Bingen was a 12th century nun and mystic in what is now Germany. And she had visions, she had divine visions, essentially. She was a mystic. And one of her visions was of the universe. And so this is her depiction of her vision of the universe. And so we have the earth in the middle, we have the moon, the sun, the 5 planets you can see with the naked eye, which is Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. And then we have kind of the stars and different winds and flames. I did a whole video about her and this image, and you can find that. I'll put it up here. And then this is what the original manuscript image looks like. So that's what I was going for. And I am definitely going to make this again, but not right away. She's complete, and I could not be more thrilled. So I had a poll on Instagram, not a poll, I had an opinion. I wanted everyone's opinions on the different, on what beads I should use on this. If you remember, I found like this whole cache of beads in storage that apparently I went through a bead weaving phase about 15 years ago, 20 years ago maybe, and I never got rid of the beads. And so I had all these seed beads. They're all sort of stored right here. So if you want to see what seed beads I was considering, you can go there. I ended up going with these. Sorry about the glare. There we go. But I was picky and only picked the light ones. I think the thing that was holding me back from this, why I didn't just kind of pick this right away, is because if you can see, they're like weird dark purple beads. I guess they're not weird, just like for this project they would not have worked. And so I just left them in there because I was beading it one bead at a time, as you saw, and I just didn't use them. And I love it. I love how the beading turned out. So you can see, I think they look like boulders, which is what they're supposed to be. And then the gold leafing in the corners turned out really good. I don't know. I'm thrilled. So I'm going to take about 1,000 pictures of this from all angles, close, far, see if my friend still wants this after they see it. And if not, I'll keep it, obviously, and send it off to Maine if they do. So there we go. That's my finished object, my friends. My finished object. And I've decided that I'm going to be doing small, small, quick finishes for at least a couple months. I have 2 other whips that you haven't seen in a while. My first whip is my temperature library, and I stitch this with my mom every Sunday. And we missed a couple weeks for various reasons, and that last Sunday was Mother's Day. And so we didn't actually work on it together on Mother's Day, but we did work on it on Monday because she was visiting my grandparents for Mother's Day. But I am into April. I'm into May. I'm into May here, and we're a little bit behind because we had quite a few to do. But I shifted the whole thing down. I love it. We're really cold still. I was very much expecting us to be in the oranges and the reds by now, and we're just not. And we're not going to be in the oranges and reds this week either because we've been cold. It's been cold here in Mississippi. But this is, like I said, a temperature bookcase. This is what it's going to look like at the end. I sell this pattern in my Etsy shop, which I link down below. And I also have a cross stitch version, which looks like this, if anyone's interested in picking it up. It's probably a little bit late for this year, but it's there if anybody wants to grab it. It's a digital download, immediate download. Anyway, this is my temperature library. And I really have to get going on the actual bookcase and the knickknacks because I haven't done them at all. I'll get to them. This is being stitched on just a linen yardage that I got from fabricstore.com in the called for DMC. It is housed in my book bag that I made with the unicorn lining, and I love it. I love how it's turning out. It's really fun. Stitching it up though, I'm realizing that some of the books are really thick. I think I mentioned this a couple weeks ago that there's some really thick books, and I was like, why are there such thick books? And there are even thicker books. There are big honkin' books coming up. What was I thinking? Sorry, everyone who's stitching this and is like, man, that's a really big book. It's true. They're coffee table books. It's literature. You can't deny people literature. That's my temperature library. And if you are stitching a temperature pattern, any temperature pattern, and want to join in on the temperature stitch along, Pam from Stitching the Land of Good Enough came up with a hashtag, which is hashtag Stitch the Temp Sal, S-A-L. I'll put it right here so you can see that. And if you post on Instagram using that hashtag, I will see it. And I think Pam, I'm assuming will see it too. But I follow that hashtag. I will love all over your stitching, and it doesn't have to be the library. It can be the tree or the flowers or the typography or the whatever you're doing that is temperature stitching. Stitch the Temp Sal, and I will give you big old hearts. The other thing I have been working on, which you have not seen in a very long time, and I'm very far behind, is my Peppermint Purple Stitch Along. So I did these two boxes and this box, and I think I'm probably, I would say 5 weeks behind maybe. I don't know. I'm not so worried about it. It's a whole year stitch along, and they're pretty quick. So when I have a moment, I can always catch up. But these two are in the wrong boxes. They should be switched. And I didn't realize it until I was already done with the box, and I don't care. I am doing the square version. There's also a rectangle version, and I'm doing it on a 14 count black Aida. This is just what I picked up at like Joann's, just like at the store. And I'm doing it in silks. The outline is this green Halloween unnamed Dyeing4Cross Stitch silk. And the inside is BeStitchMe Happy. And I love it. And then there's also space around the outside so this is organized in like a step diamond essentially, but it's supposed to have a border around the outside that makes it into a square, and there are multiple designs for that area. So that I kind of want to do in like this fluorescent pink color. I think that would be really fun, but I haven't decided yet. And I have some that goes with Happy, so like it is literally this fluorescent pink, which is kind of nice. So I think I might do that, and I think that would be really fun and also kind of ridiculous, because one of my goals in life was to be slightly ridiculous and terrifyingly competent. I want people to like not take me so seriously, but then I want to like wow them, right, with my competence and efficiency. That's, you know, small goals, small goals. Anyway, this is my Peppermint Purple 2021 stitch along, and I love it. It's just in a little plastic bag that my mom gave me before I knew about fancy project bags. I got this from my mom. That is all that I've been stitching on this week. I have been doing some designing, so I'll talk about that in a little bit. And then I want to talk about my Stitch Mayhem progress, because I'm so excited. Those of you, again, who follow me on Instagram, you get all the scoop. So if you want like the scoop during the week of the things I'm accomplishing, follow me on Instagram. I'll put it here again, Dr._Christy. Check me out. But before we get to my like non-actual stitching accomplishments, I want to give a shout out to Solar Punk Stitches. And I really like her because she has very interesting projects. She's very multi-craft jewel. If you watch me because you enjoy seeing different kinds of crafts, you will love her channel, Solar Punk Stitches. I'll put a link down below. She does cross stitch and does amazing cross stitches, and she does some like really cool Art Deco stuff. She does full coverage stuff. She does little stuff. I mean, she does all sorts of different cross stitches, but she also spins wool, knits, and she is currently, and she just posted a video. I don't know if she finished it, but she was in the process of making her own dress form of her own body. And it was hilarious because like it wasn't stuffed yet, so it looked like she had like melted. It was really funny. But she's a really neat person. If you enjoy watching interesting crafts, I think that you'll really like her and you should go check her out. Solar Punk Stitches, I'll put a link down below. Show her some love. I've been designing one cross stitch, and I've been kind of re-sketching a piece that I want to make for an ex-student of mine. So we're going to start with the cross stitch. You know, I've been kind of releasing these 3-color pieces that are based on lace patterns from like historical lace patterns. These are from 1596. Well, I found a really neat alphabet, and the alphabet I think is late 18th, early 19th century French. And I love it because it has different letters. And I also found really fun whales. So 16th century whales from the same lace pattern book as this. There are these 2 whales, and medieval and early modern people had this like wackadoodle way of drawing whales, and I love it. And so I decided I was going to make a sea monster sampler. And all I've done so far is like the basic outline. I haven't done any of the details yet, but I wanted to show you because I'm really excited about it. So this is kind of the basic outline. And as you can see, there are 3 A's. I can't figure out why there are 3 A's. I thought one of them might be the AE diphthong, but I don't think that it is. So there are 3 A's for some unknown reason. There's no J, which is pretty common in old samplers because I and J basically are the same letter. For some reason, we've split them apart, but they're basically the same letter. There's also no W, because this is French and they don't really use W in French. And there are 2 S's, which I love. It's the long S and the short S. And this was very common in pre-1900 writing. They served different functions. They sounded the same, but they were in different parts of the word. So basically the short S, which is like our normal S, was at the end, at the beginning and end of words, and the long S was usually in the middle. And I love it. And this goes back to medieval S's. I love it. Anyway, I love this alphabet. I love these whales. I love the little fish and the ship. And so I'm going to be working on this for the next couple of weeks. I'm going to stitch it up. And so you'll see it as it's being stitched up. And then once I perfect it as much as I want, then I will release it to the world and you all can stitch my sea monster sampler with 2 S's, which seems fitting. And 3 A's. Again, no idea why there are 3 A's. If anyone knows why there would be 3 A's in a late 18th, early 19th century alphabet, French alphabet, please let me know. I spent hours trying to research this and couldn't find anything. That's the first designing that I've been doing this week. And the second designing I've been doing is I've just been kind of cleaning up my Lonely Mountain 6-inch embroidery hoop. That here's a picture of the one I did for Rich. He has it on his wall. But one of my students wants one as well. And so one of my favorite students, my favorite former students wants one as well. And so I'm going to make one for her. But I thought I would clean it up in the program that I use to clean things up now that I didn't have before. So that is what I've been doing. Stitch Mayhem. I've talked about this before. I jumped on a bandwagon, the Stitch Mayhem bandwagon. May is a kind of holiday month for cross stitching, and people do it in various different ways. Some people start a new cross stitch every day. Some people start a new new ones, the number of years. So like it's 2021, so they start 21. Some people start like one every weekend. Some people finish things. Some people only work on one particular designer. There are all sorts of different ways to celebrate, but May has basically become like a cross stitch holiday. So I was trying to figure out how I could get involved in this holiday. And Tony the Stubborn Stitcher came up with something called Stitch Mayhem or Stitchy Mayhem. And basically her idea was that you work on something throughout the month that is in a different form than you usually work in. So if you are a cross stitcher, you do some embroidery. If you are or you can do like knitting or, whatever, crocheting, whatever. Well, I decided that I would play around with quilting, but I wanted to kind of keep it still cross stitch related. And so I decided that I was going to quilt Lindy Stitch's Hedgehog house. But not the whole thing, because that is a lot of work. Just the hedgehog and the flower. And so this is what that design looks like as a cross stitch. And this week, and last week, you all helped me pick out colors. And I appreciate that so much. And I took a lot of what you said into consideration. First of all, most of you did not like the shirts. So I did not include the shirts. This also helped because the shirts were the only fabric that was washed ahead of time. So the rest of the fabrics hadn't been washed yet. And so they were all not washed together. And I wasn't going to wash them. I know some of you were like, you need to wash it. It was not going to happen. If I had to wash it, it would never get done. So I figured I would just do it. And if it distorts, it distorts. I'm not going to worry about it, So I didn't use the shirts. Valerie suggested using kind of like fading the blue background. And I really liked that idea. So what I did was I had kind of a light section in the middle and then faded out to a dark section. And then I also patchworked just about everything. So I cut the fabrics out, and then this morning I laid it all out, and this is what it's going to look like. And I love it so much. It's going to take me forever to sew together all those tiny little squares, but I'm so pleased. It looks how I wanted it to look. The plaid is looking really well. I think I have a good balance of patterns and solids. And so it looks interesting, but not overwhelming. I'm really, really, really pleased. So that is my Stitch Mayhem Lindy Stitch's Hedgehog quilt. And I hope that I get to work on it some this week. That would be really fun. So that's what I've been working on. I feel like I have a good bit. I mean, I've been talking for a long time, so clearly I've done something. I do have a tiny bit of haul. I mean, I'm going to show it to you just because I know you all love fabric, but I don't have a lot. I basically broke down and bought more of that handkerchief linen in different colors from fabricstore.com. And so I have Meadow, which is a lovely kind of blue with a little bit of green. I have Natural, Cobalt, and this is all in that handkerchief linen. So it's very smooth, but also very light. Black. This is called Krista Natural. And it's like a cream. It's like a creamy off-white. And then Optic White, which is white. So this is all really good fabric for stitching. The nice thing about this linen is that it's very light, but there are no slubs in it at all. Well, as I see that, very few slubs. It's very, very smooth, and it's very thin. So these are just from me trolling their doggy bags. And I'll link to this down below. This is, like I said, that handkerchief linen that is IL020 on their website. So if you are interested in linen, this is not an even weave. It's just a yardage linen. This is one of those doggy bags that are basically small, essentially offcuts of larger pieces that you can get pretty cheap. And I like getting them because then I can try out different things. I can get lots of different colors. I'm probably not going to stitch a ton of things on like a blue, a light blue, but sometimes I want to, and so I can get a cheap cut of it. I mean, this probably cost me $2 for this cut. So definitely worth it. I'll put a link down below to their doggy bags, and they go quickly and you never know what you're going to find. So if you're looking for something in particular, you have to kind of keep trolling it every couple days to see if it's there. But that's all. That and my stitchy box, which I did an unboxing. I'll put that up here so you can check that out if you want to see my April stitchy box, Stash Delights box unboxing. So let's talk plans. I think that that's it for the stuff, the past. Let's talk the future, because I have a lot of time on my hands in the stitching world. I actually took this week off, and so next week I'm back to work, and I have an article, final edits due at the end of the month, and then I need to really start on my book, which I'll talk about in a couple weeks because I'm going to ask for your help on that, but that's going to be in a couple weeks. So I think my plans for this week are, I want to continue working on the 2 pieces that I'm planning, the Sea Monster Sampler and the Lonely Mountain, those 2 stitches. I do want to do some more botanicals on paper. I think I said this last week. I didn't realize Hildegard was going to take me all week to finish, but I did other things too. So it was very good. Wash my car, stuff like that. But I do want to do more botanicals on paper. That would make me very happy. And I can send those off to my friend who really likes them, and I kind of want to gift them to her, a couple to her. I think that's all I'm going to plan for now. I'm definitely going to start stitching Lonely Mountain. Mostly I want to kind of clean things up a bit because it's a mess over here. This whole area over here is just piles of fabric, projects, accessories, so much craft stuff on this bed right here. And my mom's coming to visit in like a week and a half, and she has to sleep there. So I need to get that cleaned up. Those are my plans. But I am going to have a Tuesday video for you because I bought myself a present, a non-stitchy present, but a bakey present. So it fits with this channel present for getting tenure. I'm a college professor. My tenure application was approved. And so going forward, I will be, and I was also promoted, so I'll be an associate professor of history with tenure, which is very exciting. So I bought myself a present, and the present I bought myself is a hand grain mill. So this is what it looks like. It's currently in a box. So my Tuesday video will be a, not quite unboxing because I've already unboxed it, but I think I'm going to take you along with me while I put it together. So I will be like probably on the floor. Maybe I'll clean out the kitchen and do it in the kitchen because usually I put things together on the floor, but I don't know that I want to do that. But I have grain. I bought grain along with it, and I'm going to, like, tomorrow or Sunday or at some point, maybe next week, who knows. Well, before Tuesday, because it's going up on Tuesday. But I'm going to put it together and take it for a test drive. And by test drive, I mean a test crank, because it's a hand mill. And I'm so excited because I have been eyeing this mill for like a year and a half. And once the pandemic hit, you could not find them anymore. Like they didn't have them. They were always sold out. There was a wait list. There was a pre-order for 3 months ahead of time. And then like I would forget about it. And I'm like, oh, well, it's about that time when they should be getting them in. Let me check. And then it was still 3 months ahead. And so I saw that they were in stock and I picked one up. And these are red. Well, I think they're red. The old ones were white, but I think this one's red. Super excited. I'm really excited. It can grind grains, any grains, but it also comes with a metal stone mill. It's not stone, obviously, but like a metal mill that can do fatty things like nuts and seeds. So I can make my own peanut butter. That's exciting. I think that's going to be my Tuesday video, is like just checking out this cool little gadgety thing that I now own. All right, I think that that's it from me. I don't know that I have anything else. Well, I mean, I have a lot of stuff over there, but none of that you need to see. That's for sure. It's a disaster. But I'm going to go. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet and you want to see more of what I'm doing. Thank you all so much for your love and support of my Hildegard and for your thoughts on the beading and the everything. Thank you all so much for being a part of my community. I appreciate you very much, and I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day. So with all that being said, please take good care of yourselves and have a good one. Bye.